In today's market, how do you make a strong offer knowing that you're not overpaying? I'm Lindsay Vallandingham with the Symphony Group here in Louisville, Kentucky and Southern Indiana. And today we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can make a very strong offer in our seller's market and guarantee that you're not overpaying for the house. The number one thing that you can do to make your offer strong in this seller's market is to remove contingencies. Now, contingencies are here to protect us all as buyers in the marketplace. However, if there are any impeding the pathway to closing, removing those can make your offer really strong, and they don't cost anything. So you don't have to spend money to remove contingencies. Contingencies would be maybe a contingency on the sale of another home. If there's a HELOC or a second mortgage option on that other property that would allow you to purchase without that contingency, that's going to make your offer stronger. If you're willing to accept your inspection contingency, but tell the seller that you're not going to ask for repairs, or maybe you tell the seller that you're not going to ask for repairs unless there's significant items, that is a contingency that can go a long way in improving your offer. If you're making an offer that's over the asking price, the seller starts to wonder, what if it doesn't appraise? And so removing the contingency upon appraisal, meaning that you will pay the difference, can go a long way in making it stand out above others. Removing contingencies can be a really strong way to make sure that your offer sits better than some others that have a lot of contingencies in them, and therefore you can look a lot better without paying more. The second thing that you can do to make your offer very strong without paying any extra money is to listen to what the seller's asking for. The seller is going to have a whole list of their own needs. In this Louisville area market, sellers have all the power. And so if you're listening to the seller's needs, that can go a long way and it doesn't cost you anything. For example, if the seller wants to close in 30 days, you could write an offer that has you closing in 30 days. If the seller needs possession of the home for a day or two after closing, perhaps they're trying to close on 2 properties at the same time, putting that into your offer and giving them what they need can go a long way in making your offer rise to the top. Not everybody's primary focus is on the money on the bottom line. Sometimes sellers have very unique needs, and if you can accommodate those in your offer, then that can really help you get a really strong offer without paying more. And finally, the thing that you can do to help your offer be the strongest among others in the pool is what we call an escalation clause. We definitely don't want to pay too much for this property, but sometimes you want to pay just what is necessary to win, to have the highest offer. And if you've tried everything else, you've removed as many contingencies as you can, you've accommodated the seller's needs as best you possibly can, but you still have to fix the bottom line. You have to give them what they think their house is worth. An escalation clause can help you pay just enough. And here's what I mean. An escalation clause operates like this. You make an offer, say the home is $250,000, and you make an offer and say, our offer is $250,000. However, if the seller receives an offer higher than $250,000, I, the buyer, will pay $2,000 better than the highest offer they have up to my personal maximum. And those numbers can be your own making. Discuss that with your agent, but you're essentially operating the way that eBay operates. You say, I'm willing to beat out the best offer you've got by a margin of blank, $500, $1,000, $5,000, whatever you think is the right amount. I'm willing to beat out your other offer up to my personal maximum, my maximum bid. And that way, you know that you paid just enough to get the house. You didn't pay too much. You didn't send a crazy offer and wonder, the house is listed at $250 and I was willing to pay $265, and you get the house, but you don't really know, were any of the other offers even competitive? Well, with an escalation clause, you have that guarantee that you pay just a little bit more than somebody else was willing to pay. And therefore, you know you're not paying too much. You're paying just enough. These are some tactics that you can use when you're writing an offer in today's really strong seller's market in Louisville, Kentucky. This is spring of 2025. We have been in a seller's market here for years, and these are the tricks that we use at Symphony Group to make sure that your offer rises above the rest and gets selected as the winning offer. For more information or to reach out to a member of our team, please contact us directly at symphonyrealtygroup@gmail.com.